Hello everyone, welcome to the class. This is Mohan Raj, your trainer, and you're watching Genesis training videos. This is the third video in ratio proportion variation concept. So we are talking about variations. Let's see what is variation and what are the concepts and questions connected to variations. So what is variation? Whenever two or more quantities are dependent on each other, so then if one of them changes, the other one which is depending upon it will also change. Such a change is called variation, and the variables are nothing but the quantities which actually change. And you can understand the quantities which do not change always remain same are called constants. For example, in this formula, distance is equal to speed into time. When the distance is constant, if the speed is increased, the time to cover will also decrease. That is, they are connected in that way. So another way, so area of a rectangle is equal to length into breadth. When the breadth is constant, area increases with the increase in the length. Right? So here the breadth is constant, area is varying according with length. Here distance is constant, speed is varying with respect to time. Right? So when I saw two examples, we can also see the properties of variation, different types of variation. So one is direct variation. So when a quantity A is said to vary directly with the increase in B, for example, say what do you mean by direct variation? Quantity A is said to be varying directly if increase in B yields an increase in A, or decrease in B yields in decrease in A. That means if A increases, it is depending upon B. If B increases, A increases. If B decreases, A decreases. Such a variation is called direct variation. So for example, distance is equal to speed into time. So I am going to keep time as constant. So for example, you travel for only 2 hours. Okay. If the speed is 50 km per hour, I can say the distance is going to be 100 km. So if I double the speed to 100 km per hour, so distance also doubles to 200. So what I am seeing here is the time is constant. When the speed is increased, distance also increased. When the speed is doubled, distance also doubles. Such a variation is called direct variation. So then you can understand now what is inverse variation. So quantity A is said to be varying inversely with vary inversely if increase in B yields in decrease in A, or decrease in B yields in increase in A. For example, same formula I can take distance is equal to speed into time, and this time I am going to keep the distance constant. For example, I have to travel 100 km. Initially the speed is 25 km per hour, so I will cover it in 4 hours. Now if I am going to increase the speed to 50 km per hour, speed is doubled. So time taken is going to be reduced to half to 2 hours. So you can see the speed increased, time decreased. So such a variation is called inverse variation. Okay. So let's see what is how they are connected first of all. So let me come back to this. Here, if A is directly proportional to B, we can write it as A by B is equal to constant. That means the ratio remains same. A1 by B1 is equal to A2 by B2. For example, if A is doubled or tripled, so B will also follow the same ratio, 1:2:3. This is an example. So I can say the relation is constant. So if in any case, if one of them is missing, I can find out using this formula. Similarly, in case of inverse relation, if A is inversely proportional to B, I can say the product is constant. I can say A1 B1 is equal to A2 B2. So if anyone is missing, I can find out easily. Also, if the ratios of A is given as 1:2:3, that means A is doubled and tripled. B will not become double, B will become half, and it will become 1/3. To simplify this, we are going to multiply by LCM with the denominator. Actual ratio will become 6:3:2. So follow this in every question, you will get the answer clearly. Let's see. First question says A varies directly with B and inversely with C. So I can say A by B is equal to constant and A into C is equal to constant. So we have to combine both of them, means I can write A into C by B is equal to constant. Meaning I can say A1 by C1, A1 C1 by B1 is equal to A2 C2 by B2. So now I just have to substitute the values. A1 is 12, B1 is 6, C1 is 2, B1 is 6, which is equal to, we have to find the value of A2, whereas C2 is given 3, B2 is given 12. So what we can do is, we can cross multiply this, 6 12s are, 3 1s are, 3 4s are. So what happens to A2 is going to be 12 into 2 into 4, which is 12 into 8, 96. So answer for the question is A2 is going to be 96. Let's look at the next question. The value of a coin varies directly to the square of its radius. So value is directly proportional to square of its radius. So when its thickness is constant. When the radius is 1.5 centimeter, that means I can say V by R square is equal to constant. So I can say V1 by R1 square is equal to V2 by R2 square. So one case they are given when the radius is 1.5 centimeter. So the value was 2 rupees. Now find the radius when it is 5 rupees. I need to find the new radius. So what I can do here is, so I can go for 2, 1.5 can be written as 3 by 2 whole square is equal to 5 by R square. So let us rearrange this. R square is equal to 5 into 9 by 4 divided by 2. So I end up with 45 by 8. 45 by 8. I'm not wrong. So it's going to be, yes, everything is correct. So radius is going to be square root of 45 by 8. So I can take that 9 outside, it will become 3 divided by 2 root 2. So I can say the answer is going to be 3 by 2 root of 5 by 2. That will be the radius of the coin. So let's go to the next question. X varies inversely with the cube of y. So what I can say is x into y cube is equal to constant. So I can say x1 y1 cube is equal to x2 y2 cube. So x1 is 1, y1 is 9. So find x2 when y2 is 3. So I can go for x2 is equal to 9 by 3 whole cube, rearranging this, which will be equal to 3 cube, which is equal to 27. So that is the answer for this question. So last question in this video. P varies directly with respect to square of q when r is constant, and P varies inversely with respect to r when q is constant. So we need to combine them. So I can write P by q square is equal to constant and P into r is equal to constant. So when I combine them, our equation will become P into r by q square is equal to constant. So now we got the relation P1 R1 by Q1 square is equal to P2 R2 by Q2 square. So we just have to substitute the values. So P1 is 24, R1 is 3, Q1 is 6. So now we have to find P2, whereas R2 is 4, Q2 is 8. So what we can see here is 3 ones are, I can write, let me keep it as it is. First 4 ones are, 4 6 are, 1 6 will cancel with this, and 3 ones are, 3 2s are. So I end up with P2 is equal to 64 by 2, which is simply 32. So answer for the question is P2 is equal to 32. So that's the end of this video. So we shall get back to the concept in the next video. So where we are going to see some problems connected to ratio proportion variation. So 2 more videos are there in this concept. So thank you for the time. So we'll meet again in the next video.